I was emotionally triggered into sending a message earlier today that I shouldn't have. Now, the source of the trigger and the content of the message are confidential, so I won't share that. But I think the more interesting thing that I can share is my emotions and thoughts and behavior that surrounds being triggered. Now, I'm not somebody who sends out rash messages after being triggered. I can't recall a situation where I got angry, I typed out a message, and I sent it at the spur of the moment. I don't think I've ever done that, and I can't recall someone complaining that I did that. My messages that are emotionally triggered are usually long and rambling. So what usually happens to me is something triggers me, and for the first few minutes, I will be fine, and my perspective kicks in, and my perspective will engage and have fun with processing whatever's happening. And but it's after the first few minutes that the emotionally trigger starts to happen as I process what happens and I realize what is wrong with it and what is toxic, what is unfair, what my mind starts to retrieve past difficult and painful episodes that's linked to it. So it is those, after the first few minutes, 10, 20 minutes, that's when I am emotionally triggered. After that, about 10, 20 minutes. That's just me. And so 10 and 20 minutes is, of course, a long time to be typing a message if that's what I'm doing. And so if I'm still triggered, I will continually be drafting and redrafting the message. And the message keeps changing and usually gets bigger and bigger. At some stage, I click send, and so a rambling message gets sent. But because of the emotions, my brain doesn't stop revising and revising the message. More and more versions starts to appear, and then I feel compelled to send those too. My brain is ruminating and is moving from one thought to the next, one memory to the next, quite mindlessly. That is when those depressed feelings that things are not going well and hopeless, or anxious feelings, worrying that if I don't write the message in exactly the right way, then what the consequences will be. So all of those things starts to kick in. Today's one is not bad. If it is bad, I wouldn't be here making this video. So I think I'll just live with what was sent today, and deal with what I've committed myself to. But unlike today, I can recall past ones where I keep sending and resending versions, and all of them are different because they're triggered by emotions. They're just me ruminating rather than something that's intentionally written. Sometimes I think, with the sensors that we have in our watch these days, that our messaging and email apps should be synced to the data that's in those sensors. And if they detect a high heart rate, then they will let me send and make it look like it's being sent, but they'll quarantine it, and it asks me later on whether I really want to send it when the heart rate is lower. I think that would be a useful thing to have. Or the operating system can block all messaging apps if it detects high heart rate. That would be useful too. I have people that works for me and with me who, when they receive instructions or action requests or messages from me that are long and rambling, they'll just ignore it until I follow up with them at a later time. That's another way that you work with people who you trust and who has some idea about the way that you are. But hopefully I don't do that too much. It doesn't make for a healthy environment, personal or work, when messages are flying around that are emotionally triggered and has no communication value, except to perhaps communicate that I'm an idiot. So that's one reason I try to devote time to getting myself healthy and balanced and keeping myself that way, because I know I'm an idiot, but I don't need to broadcast this to the rest of the world with emotionally charged messages. So what about you? I'm sure you, just like everybody else, have sent messages that are emotionally triggered that you wish you didn't. How do you deal with it when you have sent out those messages? Let me know in the comments.